Okay, super. Well, good morning again. Welcome to our family service this morning. We're going to start off with a bit of a game activity. So there is a slide. At school, we use something called widgets, which are little images to help children that might struggle with reading. And what I've done here on the next slide along is, can you work out what the names of these songs? They're songs from church. Can you work out? One might be particularly obvious. So yes, we've got My Lighthouse. Yeah. Nice, yes. My Jesus, my Saviour. If this is my, if there's more than one of us, we wouldn't say it's mine, it's our. How great is our God? There's one more slide with some more Cornerstone. Yeah, the Lord's my shepherd. With this one, you just look at the red items. This little light of mine.
Praise from the morning.
You got something to do with the morning.
Joy.
I've got joy in. It's inside the box. I've got joy in the morning. Very well done, guys. So this.
That's the song I probably might not do.
So this morning, me and Florence have decided to look at names, and I'm going to be looking at kind of the names that we can pick up, the names that others give us, and the names that God gives us. And a bit later, Florence is going to be looking at particularly the different names that God has. So that's kind of how the morning is going to look. Names are funny, aren't they? They're just sounds that people make, put together, and that's you. When someone says those sounds put together, you turn your head, oh, that's me, because they've made those sounds that make up my name. But they do have a lot of weight and a lot of meaning sometimes. I know Mum last week when she was sharing started talking about you can pick up names from other people throughout life, and sometimes they can be good names, sometimes they can be tricky names, and sometimes they can be easy to shake off, sometimes they can be quite tricky to shake off. So I'm particularly going down the line of names being labels that we can carry. Sometimes they might be fair enough, sometimes it might be quite unfair. Usually you get a reputation for something you've done. Maybe there was that one time in the office where you did that and nobody can forget that, and you're always known as that person. And yeah, that can feel quite unfair. What I love is I know somebody who had a label when they were living around here, and they were kind of mocked, and they were the joke of the family. Kind of a lot of teasing was done to them. They moved away somewhere new, and I found out later that they are extremely popular. They're very well liked where they are because they've got this fresh start. They were able to create their new identity, which I think is a lovely story. We've just been through the process of choosing a name. Got a little Boaz here, and when we share with people that we've decided to call our little boy Boaz, it's been interesting. I don't know if you found it, but it's been interesting seeing people's reaction. But the funniest one I've had is we sent a message to our school, to the teachers, and obviously when you look at the phonics, the way Boaz is spelt, it's B-O-A-Z, and if I use the spelling of boat, B-O-A-T, and how's Bose? Bose, is that how you say it? Bose? Could you say boat? No, it's Boaz. But people haven't heard of the name, apart from if they're Christian. They go, oh, very, very nice. And yes, oh, Ruth, yes. And so they know their Bible. There was definitely conversations that we'd had where Florence would bring up a name of it. No, I taught a child like that with that name, and I'm not calling my child. Yes, absolutely. And it got me thinking, I wonder if I'm going to say a few names. I tried not to pick anyone here. I don't think. I'm really sorry if I have. I just wonder what you think. If I said the name Kevin. Is that a Home Alone? Yeah. Is that a good name? Is that a, oh no, James?
Oh, great name.
Abigail? Yeah. And we all have that. We picture that person, don't we? And we have a judgment of that person. Do we like that name because of that person? I'm going to introduce you to 4 characters. In no certain order, we've got Tyler Jones. We've got Mia Thompson, Arthur Brown, and Daniel Reed. Would you have any ideas as to who was who? Anyone want to guess?
The guy on the left is the guy that goes up in a balloon, or his house goes up in the air.
So if I go through the names, who do you think is Arthur Brown?
Yeah.
What about Daniel Reed? The end one. Mia Thompson and Tyler Jones. Yeah. You had it the other way around, did you, Sonia? Who did you have? Tyler and Daniel. Okay. It's not a test, and it was just I chose those names typically. And just thinking when we're looking at these people, I wonder what labels we've already given to them. If we go on the next slide. Arthur Brown is an 82-year-old man. People might think he's quiet, old-fashioned, and spends most of his days at home sitting and watching the television. But the reality is, Arthur is one of the biggest gamers in the country. He plays online video games with his grandchildren every week, has traveled to 35 countries, and recently learned how to edit videos on a computer. Tyler Jones is a 15-year-old lad. People might think he looks rude, unfriendly, and probably doesn't care about anyone else. But actually, every Friday after school, Tyler volunteers at his local care home. He spends hours helping lonely residents, playing board games with them and listening to their stories because he knows how many rarely get visitors. Mia, sporty and competitive, but actually she's read over 100 books. She writes poetry, and in her spare time she dreams of becoming a children's author. Her favourite place in the world is a library. And Daniel Reed, a very successful businessman, maybe.
He looks good for 45 years old.
Wow.
Wow.
But he spends his weekend repairing bicycles and giving them away to children whose families can't afford them. He never tells anyone about it because he wants to help people and not impress them. It's just interesting, isn't it? The labels that we give to people. Sometimes, though, the toughest labels that we get are actually the ones we give ourselves. We could be our best advocate, or we could be our worst critic. We look in the mirror, and what labels do we actually give to ourselves? On the next slide, there's some labels. Which ones do you currently wear? If you were to pick some of those up and say, yeah, that's me.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, well, I can see one. I can see one. Which is, yes. Grumpy old man.
What do others think?
That's me. Yeah. That's got it.
What do you think others would pick up for you?
Well, that's the point, yeah.
And which ones do you actually want to be picking up?
Sporty.
I just want to finish by bringing in God into the mix. Humans give each other labels, and they very much look on the outside. But God obviously reads our hearts. Humans see failures, whereas God sees the potential. Humans look at the past and what has been done, but God looks at the future and what can be achieved. A great example of that is Gideon. He had a label. He was the lowest in his family, and his family had a label. They were the lowest in the tribe. And yet when God met him that first time by the grindstone, he met him as mighty warrior. He saw what Gideon had the potential to become. So many people have the potential to give us labels, whether it's teachers, friends, people that aren't your friends, family. And that's all because of our behaviors or what we do. Yet God is able to separate our behaviors from our identity. He doesn't look at what we do, he looks at who we are. And in the New Testament, if the band would like to come back up, in the New Testament, we're called children of God. It says that we are God's handiwork, that we are a new creation. And I like these labels because they're so freeing. Even a label that's maybe a positive one. You're the funny one. You're the clever one. You're the sporty one. Eventually that could even become a burden as well. Whereas these ones, you're a new creation. You are God's handiwork. There's no limit to what that means. You're so free. Thank you very much.